Don't you California my Texas. Haha, I said it first so you don't have to. I think I'm gonna offend everyone with this video. That just seems to be my hidden talent. Find topics that offend no one and then offend everyone. So it seems like a lot of people are leaving California to move to Texas. I'm not gonna lie, because of all the news, I kind of wanted to move to Texas too. But instead of being the quintessential millennial getting in over her head with FOMO, I wanted to see what Texas was really like for myself first. That way I won't have articles written about me because I become that one idiot who didn't research properly. So for Vincent and I's anniversary, we packed our bags and flew to Texas. I'm gonna be judging Texas by 3 criteria. First being cost of living compared to LA. Second being quality of life. Just because everyone is moving to Texas and it seems so great for someone else might not mean it's great for me and my personal needs. And third, opportunities for work and for business. First, let's talk about the cost of living in Texas. Listen, I have a secret to confess. I am addicted to Zillow. Ever since I had a coworker educate me about how dumb I was about not wanting to buy a house,
George is stupid.
It became a huge goal of mine to one day own a home no matter how hard I have to work. I was specifically looking at Dallas as a place I would potentially like to move to. I was pretty shocked at the numbers that I saw. The average price of a 4-bedroom house in Dallas is around $300,000. For a 3-bedroom house, that's $250,000. For all of you who don't know what that means, your monthly mortgage payment is between $1,000 to $1,300. And that's about the same price as a studio apartment in LA. And let's say you don't want to buy a house or you're not at that place in life yet. Rent is so much cheaper. A 1-bedroom apartment is $1,000 to $1,300 a month. Of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Property tax is a whopping 1.93%. That's double the amount in LA. Now let's compare all of that to LA home prices. The average cost of a 4-bedroom house is $1.1 million and up to infinity and beyond. If you're lucky, you might be able to score a 2-bedroom condo that's very, very far away from LA for about $500,000. So most people are resigned to renting. So basically the money that you'd be saving just by moving to Texas can afford you a house compared to barely able to afford you an apartment in LA. On top of that, gas is about $5 and climbing in LA. Whereas in Texas, I saw it was just under $3. And in general, everything you buy in Texas is going to be cheaper because sales tax is cheaper at 8.25%. In LA, the sales tax is 9.5%, but let's be real here. Most of the cities are at 10% and climbing. So the conclusion here is yes, it is so much cheaper to live in Texas rather than in LA. But just because it's cheaper is not the only reason why people would want to move. Things like food, traffic, safety, activities, and weather are all super important to me. One of our main priorities when we were in Dallas was to eat, and we did a lot of that. We ate and we drank a whole lot, and whew, you Texans know how to eat. Arguably better than we Californians do. There was no barbecue place that wasn't good. I don't think I ever had real barbecue before in my entire life, and whew, it was so good. I still have dreams about the barbecue and the drinks. The drinks were so strong. You guys know how to mix a really good drink. I had to get like 3 cocktails at my local bar in order to get as lit as I get from one drink in Texas. And many of the restaurants that are available in Dallas are also available in LA. So our vacation really didn't feel like we left home at all. It kind of felt like a bizarro world version of LA. I was also kind of worried about the traffic because I heard other people talk about how the traffic is just as bad as LA. But we were there from Thursday through Monday and the traffic really wasn't that bad. It's nothing compared to rush hour every single day in LA. One really cool thing I noticed about Dallas is how safe it felt. We drove all over the Dallas and Fort Worth area. I was shocked by how clean it was and I really didn't see much of a homeless population there. Versus LA, it's gotten really bad. Listen, I am a born and raised Californian. I know we're kind of an endangered species. You don't find too many of those here. I don't have all the preconceived notions and expectations of what LA should be before coming here because I'm from here. I know LA is kind of a butthole. Can I say butthole on YouTube? I'm not sure. And I say that lovingly. It's kind of the character of LA. Everyone comes here to make it and to be somebody. Literally your waiter or waitress is probably also an aspiring actress. In a sick kind of way, I kind of like seeing all the people who aren't from here come here expecting the glitz and the glamour, realizing how dirty and grimy it actually is, but then choosing to hang out in all the rich hipster places. Thinking, oh yeah, I made it. I can tell all my friends and family back home I'm in Hollywood. hood. So you go and post on Instagram all the crazy things that you're doing and living in LA, but in reality, there's a homeless encampment right outside the door of your luxury apartment. That is what it is to live in LA. Fun! There's always been trash here, and there's always been a homeless population that no one knows how to help. The thing is though, as I grew up, LA kind of got its act together and started cleaning itself up a little bit. Recently though, it's gotten really bad, and this is coming from someone who is native to California. I definitely do not recommend you stay out late at night in certain parts of LA. The weather in Texas was also a huge surprise. I was expecting Texas to be really hot, kind of like it is in LA, and it is, but in a different kind of humid way. It can get a lot cloudier and it rains on and off throughout the day. Compared to LA where it's 74 degrees sunny almost every single day, it's interesting to finally experience weather. Jokes aside, weather is actually very important to me because it can affect my well-being, my mood, and my productivity. And I'm very grateful to live in a place where the weather won't kill me. As for activities, Dallas is pretty much the same as LA. In fact, I would argue a little bit better. Your bars are better, they're more communal. Dallas has a huge sports community if you're into that kind of thing. I am a creative and an artist, so what is sports? In that way, I felt a little bit like a fish out of water at Dallas. There are plenty of walkable areas and places to go shopping in Dallas, similar to LA, but I would say LA has much more unique areas to shop at, like Fairfax to go thrifting, Rodeo and other high-end malls for luxury goods, and plenty of walkable artsy districts all over the county. I also kind of wanted to touch upon the politics of moving to Dallas. I definitely felt like a little bit of animosity when we went to Dallas as Californians that can't hide the fact that we're Californians. I mean, we kind of reek as Californians. I literally grew up in the Valley, so I kind of inadvertently have a Valley girl accent. Vincent wore flip-flops and an In-N-Out shirt.
Am I doing Texan right? Howdy, y'all. I'm totally not from California.
What more can I say? But when I did my research, I realized Dallas is blue and has been blue for a very long time. In 2020, in 2016, in 2012, blue. So I'm not sure you can blame Californians moving there turning your state blue. You guys are turning yourselves blue. That being said, when I live life normally as I would if I had moved there, politics is not really a thing I think most people should be thinking about in their day-to-day lives every day. How do I say this without offending someone? As long as we're all treating each other kindly, I think that's what matters at the end of the day. When we went to Dallas, me and Vincent did all sorts of things, from the tourist attractions to just normal out on the town shopping. We're at the Fort Worth Zoo, the best zoo in the country, so we'll see about that. It was one of the best zoo experiences in my life, and I saw all the kids are really happy. You don't have to walk very far to see the next animal attraction. The animals look really happy and healthy. Versus LA, we went to the LA Zoo just to compare the difference. I realized the zoo I grew up with kind of sucks. You have to walk what seems like miles to get from attraction to attraction. It is hot and crowded. It was very expensive, and most of the animals weren't even there. So what was I even paying for? It was honestly a very sad, disappointing experience. We also went to the Fort Worth Stockyards, which was really fun. I got to see cattle, buy a cowboy hat, and we visited the historical JFK assassination site. Kind of morbid, very interesting. It's one thing to see video and pictures of it online, and to actually go there to where history was made. Maybe that's not the right way to put it, but it's a really impactful experience. So finally, we compare opportunity. When we went to Dallas, every business seemed to be booming. There were some streets where the pandemic did seem to affect the state, but all in all, Texas seemed to be recovering really well. And the biggest highlight, zero income tax. Whereas in California, state income tax can be as high as 12%. California likes to tax everyone, no matter who you are. Whether you're an employee, self-employed, a corporation, we're all fucked. When I was working in animation, every year, the amount of taxes I had to pay is about the equivalent to buying a brand new car every single year. The thing is, if the taxes actually did anything, I guess I wouldn't mind, but they're supposed to fix the roads, they're supposed to fix the drought by making water reserves, they were supposed to build a high-speed railway, none of which exists. Where did the money go? Out of my pocket into thin air. Whereas when we came home, it was kind of a shock to see California kind of closing up again. More restrictions, the restaurants still aren't really doing very well. A lot of businesses have closed. It's particularly sad for me as someone who grew up here because some of the businesses I grew up with. I guess the one benefit that LA has over Dallas is that the film industry is here. If you want to work in entertainment, this is the place to be. So at the end of the day, do I want to move to Dallas? The answer is no. The main reason to move to Dallas from LA is simply because it's cheaper. In fact, I see Dallas becoming exactly like LA, give it a few years or so. It's actually something me and Vincent kept complaining about when we were there, that it didn't really feel feel like a vacation. We kind of wanted to get a culture shock. We kind of wanted a different way of living. For those of you who do want a cheaper LA, Dallas is actually the perfect choice. But for me, I don't have that big of an interest in city life and sports, but it's not like I love living in LA anymore either. It's crazy expensive and crowded, and I'm looking for a slower pace of life. It's just not worth it anymore. I'll be looking for another state with good opportunity and a slower pace of living. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, check out these similar videos next, and don't forget to dare to dream.